Hey guys. So today's video is the third video I'm filming today. So my brain and my voice are both shot completely to shit. So let me through it. But today what I wanted to do was talk to you guys about some recent, and by recent I mean in 2024, recent purchases I've made makeup wise that I never reached for. And this is not really an indictment of the products themselves. It's more a matter of me learning about what I actually will use, what products actually work for me. I think it's good to kind of inventory that when it comes down to beauty because trends change all the time. Products come out all the time. Beauty is like a moving target. So as a result, we can tend to invest in things and find down the road that we maybe got swept up in some hype and maybe these things truly were a bit of a waste of money. And I'm looking at this little basket I have before me and I'm learning that there is a through line between all of these products and why I no longer use them. It's more about my tastes have changed. I've tried things I like better. I've learned more about what, flatters me, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I would love to know down below if there's any beauty products or trends or anything of that nature that you have recently found out didn't really work for you and what worked instead. I'm always trying to learn about what you guys are into. In fact, some of the best product recommendations and fun facts about makeup and beauty I've gotten this year have been from y'all. It's been my comment section. Before we get started, hey, what's up? I'm Whitney. My channel is all about beauty and high maintenance energy. And if either of those things sound like a good time to you, make sure you subscribe and stick around. Thumbs up the video if you enjoy it, and let's just get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is a good example of a product that the product is fine. The product is actually very, very good, but I am different than I was when I first bought it. So again, not an indictment on the products themselves. It's more now that I've learned that I don't actually use this type of thing. I don't see myself really buying any more of them. And that is eyeshadow palettes, big ol' honkin' eyeshadow palettes. The only eyeshadow palettes that I have really used this year is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes and the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Neutrals palettes. I've also been using a lot of 4-pan eyeshadow palettes like Tom Ford and Charlotte Tilbury. I love eyeshadow sticks, liquid eyeshadows. My eye looks just are not, I'm just not that girl anymore. I used to really love super bold, glittery, sparkly, smoky eyes. I don't know if it's a time thing. Like if I have to get ready to go somewhere, I'm not gonna sit here and paint little things on my eyelids for 20 minutes. I just don't have the energy. But it's also more a general move in my tastes toward makeup. I'm so much more focused on skin and complexion and really trying to perfect that. So I spent a lot of money in that arena this year, but I think it was well spent because I do enjoy testing those things, trying those things, learning new ways to use them, using new combinations. But eyeshadow palettes in general, especially really big ones, these are some Natasha Denona ones. This is the Glam palette, this is the Biba palette, and this is the I Need a Nude palette. All of these palettes are gorgeous, particularly the I Need a Nude palette. This might be my favorite one from her. All I'm trying to say is like these palettes are not the problem. I am the problem. This is no longer something that I find a lot of value in. It sucks that it took me this long to figure it out because I did buy a lot of them this year. I just don't use them. I'm not gonna say I never ever will, but I think my eyeshadow game is going to be more about, as I said before, 4-pan palettes, liquid eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks, just pretty basic, to be honest with you. Doesn't mean I'll never get a little froggy hair up my butt and want to bust out something sparkly and fun. Fall is coming, I might feel differently. But in terms of what I've actually used this year, it's been almost nothing. I've used these so rarely, it's almost upsetting. So the next thing I want to talk about is blush, but definitely not all blush. I love blush, just like the rest of us at this moment in the beauty industry, but it's a particular shade of blush. And this is a combination of two things going on at the same time. Number one, again, my tastes have changed, and number two, I stopped self-tanning. So this particular type of blush no longer works for me. It's just not flattering in my opinion on myself. And that is peach blush. Any kind of peachy, corally blush, I will never buy again. Yeah, pretty sure I'll never buy again. This is the most recent one I purchased. It's called She's the Moment by Patrick Ta. This came out when he launched his spring blushes. When I was tan, I loved this type of blush. In fact, I think I went through an era from about 2011 to 2014 when I gravitated almost exclusively to these kind of peachy, corally blushes like Tarte Tipsy. Does anybody remember that? That was my gateway into that particular style of blush. Now, like, I look at this and I cringe. It's so far away from a color that will do anything for me. In fact, I think if I put this on being as fair as I am, I don't know, I think it would make me look sick. It's just, it's not for me. If you're fair and you love a peach tone blush, this is not to say you shouldn't. But in terms of like all the different peach toned things that I have, this is NARS Gilda. It's basically identical to the Patrick Ta one. This is Joy from Rare Beauty. This one's from e.l.f. I cannot see the name, but it's another peach one. I'm done with these. I don't see a world where I'm ever picking up a peach tone blush again. In fact, if anything, this year has taught me that I exclusively gravitate to, and tend to wear mauvey, rosy pink tones, even lilac toned things. So warmer colors, bronzes, dark chocolatey browns, peach tones, beige lips. That stuff is not on the table for me anymore. But yeah, outside of those colors, I don't see myself gravitating towards much else, which frees me up, because when a new line drops, like if a new blush line comes out or a new lipstick line comes out and I want to try it, I already know what colors to look for. I'm gonna look for the mauvey berry colors. Everything else I can pass on. It was good for me to learn that this year. Like I said, sometimes it's not about the product, it's not about the quality of the product. Sometimes you change. Sometimes you dial in your beauty standard and what you like, and everything else just becomes noise. It's kind of like fashion. I always say, or not I don't say this. It has been said that trends are for the anxious. And I'm not a trendy person by any stretch of the imagination. And I think knowing this about my makeup and beauty style will help me in the future from wasting money on shit that I'm not gonna use, frankly. The next thing I don't see myself picking up much of anymore are matte powder bronzers. These are the best examples of that I have. This is the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is Mario. These bronzers are good, objectively good. I don't have an issue with the bronzers. It's the finish and like I said, the fact that my tastes have changed. I like a luminous bronzer, so the Hourglass bronzer is pretty luminous. The Gucci one has a luminosity to it. The new Giorgio Armani luminous bronzer's got a little luminosity to it. These are just really flat matte bronzers. It's so funny. A lot of this stuff I bought when I first came back to YouTube and first started getting back into makeup, and I bought all the things I would normally gravitate towards, right? It would be a powder matte bronzer, because back then I was also still thinking that baking was in my best interest. I was still reaching for full coverage everything. And as the months have gone on and I've played with beauty more and gotten back into it, I've just realized that anything matte on my face, for the most part, I'm not into. I like something with a little bit of glow, a little bit of luminosity. As these start to launch and like next summer rolls around, which is usually when we see the bronzers getting ready to come out, not only do I not need any more damn bronzer, I have so much of it, but I know that if it's a matte finish, I just will never use it. I never pull for these anymore. Again, it's not an issue with the product. They are nice products, but they just don't do anything for me. I think they look really lifeless on my face now. This is, I think, a product issue. Actually, I've used this so infrequently, I'm not even sure anymore. This is the Patrick Ta She's Sculpted Cream Contour and Bronzer. I thought I was going to love these when I first got this. Like the same thing with the blushes. I do like the blush duos. I do like the highlighter duo. I thought I was going to love this because I love a cream contour set with a powder bronzer moment, a luminous powder bronzer moment. Don't forget. I don't like this. I don't like the colors. Like I almost feel like they're too different. I accept that one of them is supposed to be a contour, so typically you'd reach for something cooler, and a bronzer, you'd reach for something warmer. I don't always completely abide by that theory, but I feel like these are too different. They're not, like this is much warmer, not even just a little bit warmer, much warmer than the contour. I don't like the finish of the powder. Again, it's that really kind of chalky, not even chalky, that's not fair. I don't like a matte bronzer. So I don't like this. I don't remember being impressed with the way it actually worked in terms of like, does this contour and bronze? I don't know. This was a big miss for me, and a miss that I couldn't have anticipated in a million years. I was very sure I was gonna like literally hit pan on this, and I think I used it a handful of times earlier in the year and not one since. It's just not for me. I wish he would reformulate this and maybe change the powder bronzer shade range. Like this is so orange, and then maybe make it a little bit more luminous. This is just, This is very 2016 Whitney, in my opinion. So I've actually tried several of these types of products this year. This is not just to pick on Dior, but this is the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. I've tried a few of these. These, in my opinion, are all just trying to rip off Charlotte Tilbury and the Flawless Filter, Hollywood Flawless Filter thing that e.l.f. then ripped off and kind of did better, in my opinion. All that being said, I've tried several of these. In fact, I recently picked up the one from Armani. It's like the Fluid Sheer or something. These just don't do anything for me. I cannot make them work in any way that inspires me to reach for them regularly. The exception is the e.l.f. Halo Glow. Like I said, Charlotte started this, e.l.f. perfected it, and everybody else is trying to do it. The e.l.f. one I do use pretty often, still not as much as I thought I was going to. But these, like the Dior one, the Armani one, and even this next thing, which I think is a similar concept, this is the Super Goop Glow Screen. These type of like illuminating products that are shimmery, I don't feel like do anything for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but if you've never used the Goop Glow Screen, this thing is like metallic. You're gonna look like the Tin Man. This is a little more subtle, but it's essentially trying to accomplish the same thing. You want to put this underneath your makeup. You can mix it in, you can put it on top of, but the idea is it's supposed to make your foundation more glowy and luminous, and I feel like it never does. I feel like every time I put foundation on top of these types of products, it goes away. And I don't even use mattifying foundations. I use very luminous sheer foundation, so it doesn't make sense that I can never see these products through my foundation, at least through my foundation enough to justify continuing using them, reaching for them, buying more of them. I think this is a whole other category that I'm good on. I've been done with face primers for years. Like I cannot remember the last time I bought a face primer. I have bought complexion enhancers. Like in other words, I've bought moisturizers that are meant to go underneath my makeup or are meant to make my makeup look better, but they're not primers. They're almost skincare, and these are very definitely intended to be a primer, and they do nothing for me. I don't know. I think I'm done with primers, and I'm definitely done with these type of luminosity boosting, although they do nothing for me. These types of things. And the worst thing about this, the Glow Screen, I was really excited about it because I'm a sunscreen addict, and I just thought this was going to be so beautiful under makeup, and it does nothing. It makes you look crazy without makeup, so you can't even wear it day to day. And with makeup, it does nothing, in my opinion. Unless you guys know ways to use this that I haven't figured out. I feel like I've tried every conceivable way, but if you have a hot tip, please let me know. There's nothing wrong with this product for me. I know some people don't like these and feel like they don't last very long. I was mostly excited about the color when I bought this. This is the Haus Labs Glassy Hibiscus Blush Balmy Stick. I love this color, but there is something about, I don't know what it is, you guys. You ever notice, like when it comes to your makeup stash, for no apparent reason, certain things you just never pick up. This is one of those things. I really thought I was gonna love this and use it all the time. When I first used it, I did quite a bit, but I just passed right over it. I don't know what it is about this. I like the finish of it. Again, I love the color, but for some reason, this just never gets reached for. Maybe I need to make it an objective to use it more, put it in my everyday makeup bag, try to get some use out of it, but this just was good in theory, but boring once I owned it. I don't know. Do you guys ever do that? Something seems like it's gonna be so great and exciting until you get it and you're like, meh. Next is the Dior Backstage Highlighter. This is the color 002 Glitz. I accidentally ordered this one earlier this year when I was like doing one of my first makeup hauls. I've done a lot this year, don't judge me. I accidentally ordered the wrong one. I was sure I would find a use for this because it is a 4-pan highlighter palette. I cannot find a use for this. I don't even think these highlighters are even remotely the same formula as the original one. I'll pop a picture of it right here. I don't know who this was for. I would imagine maybe they designed this one for deeper, skin tones because these are a little bit darker than the original palette. But even then I question if that's the case because I don't even feel like these highlight. Like these don't have, in my opinion, any luminosity at all. At least not compared to, like I said, the original palette. And I did try this when I was darker toned. So when I'm fair and I try to use a dark highlighter, obviously it's not gonna highlight anything because the tones are incorrect. But I did try to use this when I was tan and I still felt the same way. I was like, why is everybody always losing their shit over this palette? I feel like these are chalky. They don't glow. I don't know. I can't figure out what to do with this. I'm keeping it around because I would feel guilty if I got rid of it. I don't know why, but I would. Like like I feel like it's wasteful. I was just sure I'd figure out a way to use it, and I still haven't. It literally probably has like a layer of dust on it for how long it's just been sitting in my stash and being neglected. Do you guys have this? What do you do with it? Because I can't figure it out. I'm just not a fan of this one at all. And if you do have this and you love it, tell me why. Because I cannot get into this. Lastly is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Pressed Powder. I picked up 2 of these. I have the one in Cookie and this is Cherry Blossom. Earlier this year, I was really into Huda Beauty. I liked the color correctors, liked concealers, I liked the loose powder, and so I thought I would try this. I don't really feel the same way about all her other products anymore. I found that once I kind of switched those out for different formulas, particularly as it pertains to the under eye correctors and concealers, I found that those were so drying on me. I didn't realize how drying they were until I tried something else. On me personally, I'm 38, I have normal to dry skin. Her complexion products are just way too heavy on me. It's way too heavy, way too mattifying. They are very perfecting, but they just look heavy on someone, at least on me. Again, on me. I don't like it. And this is kind of the same thing. I still haven't figured out what to do with this powder. Really, the only thing I do with it is I'll like put a thin line of it down the center of my nose when I'm doing my nose contour. I think once or twice I've used it to kind of clean up under here and kind of sharpen my contour. But I don't put this in my purse to touch up with. I don't think it's particularly blurring. I don't know. I had high hopes for this because like I said, at the time when I got it, I was really into Huda. But even as much as like I can say that the concealers, the Easy Bake Loose Powder, the color corrector were good, just not right for me, I kind of feel differently about this. Like, I know a lot of people bought these or reviewed them when they came out. People were trying to illuminate for you guys the differences between this and the loose powder, because that was kind of the big question. But my question now is anybody still using this? Is anybody holy grailing this the way that they do the loose powder? I have not seen it. I don't see anybody talk about these. This is something in my stash that I feel like is just gonna collect dust because I'm already super persnickety about powder. Side note, do you guys know that I just bought a new Givenchy Prisme Libre Poudre in my correct shade, which is the fair shade, and I was like losing my mind over how much better that loose powder is in my correct shade. So excited about it. Love it, love it. Can't get enough of it. Literally the next week I find out they discontinued or they reformulated the Givenchy powder, and I can't find the old formula anywhere because I wanted to stock up on it. I don't know why you would reformulate a product that literally everybody's obsessed with and loves. It makes no sense to me. I'm so angry about it still. But anyway, we're talking about powder. That's why I was thinking about it. I'm really particular about powder. I need powder to be extremely light. And like I wanted to do its job, but this is thick to me. This is cakey, it's gunky. It's not what I wanted at all. It's not what I was thinking it was gonna be. But if you have found a way to make this work or something, let me know. Cause I mean, honestly, that's true with all these products I'm sharing with you guys. I don't wanna get, except for the peach blush, I don't see my mind changing about that. I just don't think it looks good on me anymore. But everything else I've mentioned, if there is a trick, a tip, a fun fact, something that I could implement to get use out of this stuff, I wanna try to. I hate the idea that I own things I'm not using, and I'll make it work, man. Let me know. Let me know if there's a way that this thing is knocking your socks off, because I'll try it. All right, guys, all I have for you today. Please let me know your current, I don't know, what are we gonna call this? I don't wanna call these fails, because again, in some cases, it's not even the product, it's me. But I wanna know the things that you had high hopes for, things you thought you were gonna love, maybe your tastes have changed, your skin changed, trends changed. Like, I wanna know down below if you can relate to anything that I talked about today. But like I said, I've been filming all day, I'm losing my voice, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go, and I will catch you in the next one.